What is going on, Steelers Nation? It is me again, back at it with a brand new video, and as the title is said, the 2022 Steelers record prediction. First and foremost, I do want to apologize for not uploading this video earlier. Especially when the schedule got released. I have just been busy with family, and I have been busy with work, and as you know, work has been a real fucking bitch right now, so I am glad I am getting some free time right now, at this time, so this is going to definitely be a very interesting season. A lot of changes for the Steelers, especially a lot of players going. Especially Ben Roethlisberger, our quarterback, who will definitely be in the Hall of Fame very soon. And we're definitely going to miss the guy, especially Kevin Colbert, who absolutely built a dynasty team for decades. Since 2000. He's definitely going to go into Hall of Fame soon. So, definitely a lot of changes for the team, free agency-wise, draft-wise. We ended up getting Kenny Pickett as our quarterback. So, we don't know if he is going to be the starter or if it's going to be Mitchell Trubisky or, God forbid, fits Mason Rudolph, because honestly, Mason Rudolph can't win fucking shit. So, okay. As you know, with the schedule right now, the strength of it, we are basically 12th. We are literally in the middle of the schedule strength. We are tied with the Panthers and Bills, and these are going to be teams that are we're going to be facing pretty soon, so it will be very interesting to watch. So all right, so let us move on to that, and of course let's get started on this prediction. I will be doing predictions, weekly predictions, for week 1 to week 18, especially with all the teams, and see how I do during this season, and hopefully I become a pretty good predictor, especially the Oracle. That's what people call me. And also, I do have a very special announcement to make, especially with these weekly predictions. I will actually let you guys know later on about it, so be my little top secret, so wink wink. So let's get started on this prediction, shall we? So the Bengals at Cincinnati. Of course, we don't host a home game right now. So the last time we actually hosted a home game was in 2014. So we're on the road for our very first game against Cincinnati. And where do I see us doing with this game? I am definitely going to say this is going to be a loss for us, just because how good the Bengals are. The Bengals have really been a top caliber team lately, and they've gotten some lucky plays out. So, especially Joe Burrow returning healthy. Jamar Chase is an absolute superstar. Joe Mixon is punching the ball in to the end zone, no pun intended. So, don't forget, not to mention, the Steelers and Bengals have both improved their team, especially with the draft and through free agency. Free agency especially. Bengals rebuilding that offensive line and bringing in some pretty good offensive linemen to their team to give Joe Burrow some protection, some better protection. But don't forget, not to mention, we did the same thing, and we started rebuilding our offense and our defense. So we could end up doing better. We could be doing worse against the Bengals, but overall, I think this is going to be our first loss of the season. Steelers 17, the Bengals 28. All right, so the first home game of the Steelers at Heinz, and I don't care what people say, what the name of our new stadium is. It's still going to be fucking Heinz. So, the New England Patriots in week 2. Where do I see us going with this one? I say this is going to be a pretty good game. I know Mac Jones is definitely a good quarterback ever since Tom Brady left for Tampa Bay several years ago. And, of course, he has really been living up to expectations and becoming a really good quarterback for New England and pretty much filling in that mold for Tom Brady. But, of course, he will never be the next Tom Brady. So, honestly, that's impossible. So, anyway, I feel like we're going to win this game just because New England has lost some key players, especially with the offensive line. They got a little bit weaker, and the defense is definitely going to be kind of troublesome. They actually had some players retire as well, and actually had some key players move on to different teams. J.C. Jackson as a big loss for the New England Patriots. Kyle Van Noy, Dante Hightower are one of those guys that are gone. I just feel like it will be a good game, but I think we're going to get the first win of the season. Steelers 24, New England 20. All right, the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland. Where do we see us going with this game? With the as you guys know about the whole Deshaun Watson fiasco going on, especially what he's been doing. What happened last year, where he was involved with some sexual allegations against 26 women. And, of course, a few days ago, they just deliberated and they have suspended Deshaun Watson for 6 games. However, the NFL is appealing that suspension to make it to the point that Deshaun Watson gets suspended for the entire year. I do support that. I just feel like the suspension should have been more with this one. I feel like it should have been half the season or even 3/4 of the season he should have been suspended, because this guy has absolutely just been a complete mess. And especially him coming to Cleveland, it's just bad luck for Cleveland. And throwing Baker Mayfield under the bus. So, I see us getting a major win here, depending on whether this suspension holds up, and I believe it will. So, if this suspension gets lifted, I'm about to throw a chair out the fucking window if that actually happens. So, hopefully he does not get off scot-free because of what he did. I just feel like Deshaun Watson is going to be trash. He chose the wrong division on a team point. I mean, he chose the worst division to play for, especially when you have teams like the Steelers, Bengals, and Ravens who have been the dominant team in this league, and Cleveland just has not been living up to expectations. Yes, they actually won a couple good games, and yes, they did go into the playoffs and beat us a few years ago. But this is now. I feel like the Steelers are going to blow out the Browns on this one. So, my prediction for the Steelers and Browns game, 33 Steelers, Cleveland Browns, 13. Especially if their quarterback is Jacoby Brissett, who is basically average. I just don't think he is a great quarterback. I just feel like he's an average quarterback when he's healthy. I think he can be a good quarterback when he's healthy, but when he's not healthy, he's not a good quarterback. All right, so moving on to week 4, the New York Jets is our next opponent. So where do we see us going with this one? I feel like we are going to win this game, but don't forget, the Jets were the best team in this draft to get a lot of good players, especially 3 first-rounders, especially Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, he's going to be thrown to from Zach Wilson, and then you have Jermaine Johnson on defense, who's going to beef up that defense, and then you have Breece Hall, who is the best running back in that 2022 draft class. So if they can utilize that, I might feel that the Jets could be a very competitive team against a Steelers team who are at the rebuilding process. So, but I feel like we have been getting the Jets' number. Although we did lose to them one time, especially, what was it, a few years ago? I don't know what year it was. I don't know. Was it 2019? We just had a lot of key injuries back then. I do think we're going to win this game. My prediction for this game is the Steelers 24, the Jets 13. All right, so the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. So where do I see this going? I feel like this is going to be our next loss for the season. I mean, look, Josh Allen is just an elite quarterback. He is a great quarterback, especially with all those weapons he have. Dawson Knox, he's got O.J. Howard in there now. They got Dalvin Cook's brother, Connor Cook, if I actually said that correctly. And then Stephon Diggs, who got a contract extension. So, especially on the defense, they did lose a couple people. Who knows if Tre'Davious White will be back to week 5. I feel like he will, but it will be very interesting if he doesn't, because they did bring in, drafted Kaiir Elam, who is a big body quarterback from Florida. And that is definitely someone who could hold down the fort while Tre'Davious White is recovering from an ACL tear that he suffered late last season. So, but I do feel like we will actually lose this game. The Steelers 24, the Bills 35. All right, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady's Buccaneers, is who we're facing next at Heinz. Where do I see this is going? I do feel like we're going to lose that game as well. Tom Brady is just the ultimate quarterback. Yeah, this is going to be his last season. Yeah, there could be some problems with the Buccaneers that we might not know about because it's week 6. So we don't know. Anything can happen. Anything can happen from week 1 to week 6. So until we face Tom Brady. So I just feel like Tampa Bay has just been a better team, and I think they will be a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So my prediction for this game will be the Steelers 20, the Buccaneers 31, a pretty ugly loss as well. We are in Florida facing the Dolphins at Miami. So where do I see this going? I do feel like we might win this game, although I feel like this could be a good game here on out, especially Tua Tagovailoa now have Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle on that team, so definitely got some good weapons on that team. I feel like we may actually win this game. Just because I think we have a better team. I feel like the Dolphins and the Steelers are a little bit equal to each other, but when it comes to the defense, we dominate on the defense. So, the Miami Dolphins game, we win that game. Steelers 28, Dolphins 21. All right, so the Philadelphia Eagles at Philadelphia, Week 8. Where do we see us going with this one? I feel like we are probably going to lose this game as well. I just feel like the Eagles are going to be a better team, and I think they're going to be a much better team. Jalen Hurts has been a better quarterback over Carson Wentz, and that's why they drafted the guy, just to get rid of Carson Wentz. And guess what? They have A.J. Brown now, who, when healthy, he could be a dominant player. And especially the Eagles ended up getting some really good quality players in the draft. So they ended up drafting Jordan Davis in this draft, and they ended up getting the Kobe Dean that we definitely wanted on our team. He's with the Eagles. So I say it is definitely going to be another loss for us. Steelers 24, the Eagles 35. All right, so skipping over to Week 9, since this is our bye week, and we get off a bye week fresh and take on the New Orleans Saints. So where do I see this going? I say this is going to be a win for us. Although I do like the matchup with this one. This is going to be at home in Hines. Especially with New Orleans getting some good players. Chris Olave is now their wide receiver. Michael Thomas is probably going to be coming back. They got Tyrann Mathieu on their team. So I say this is going to go into overtime, but I feel like a late touchdown for this game is definitely going to be what is going to happen. So the Steelers winning this game 30-24. All right, so we're back at it again with the Bengals, this time at home. Where do I see us going with this one? I say this is still going to be a loss for us against the Bengals again. So I don't want to really explain it again. So Bengals are just a better team. So, but who knows? They may actually have some key injuries. That might happen, and anything could happen with this game against the Bengals. So this is going to be a loss for us. So we're 0-2 against the Bengals. 20-27. All right, so week 12 of the NFL season, we head to Indianapolis, my hometown, to face the Indianapolis Colts. So where do I see this going? This will be a very interesting matchup. Colts have definitely have some pretty good players. Matt Ryan now the quarterback. Jonathan Taylor, who is basically now the best running back in this league, which could cause a lot of problems for the Steelers. Because honestly, we have been so shitty in stopping the run. Hopefully that year changes with some of our free agents and draftees that we brought in. So I feel like we could probably win this in overtime, probably for a field goal. Excuse me. With this one. Because honestly, we've always had the Colts number. I mean, the last time the Indianapolis Colts beat us, damn, I don't even know. Long time. for the Steelers against the Colts. So anyway, I'm going to say my prediction for that will be 20-17. All right, moving on. We are about 3/4 of the way there with the schedule. So we head to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. So where do I see this going? I'm going to say this is going to be a major win for us. I just don't feel like the Falcons have what it takes to be a good team this year. I mean, this is basically a reload / rebuild year for the Falcons. I mean, really, like their new quarterback now, Marcus Mariota. We don't know how he's going to do in Atlanta, although he's going to have very similarities with the head coach there, since both these guys were in Tennessee at the time. So, and again, they don't have good receivers. They don't have any reliable receivers. Maybe Kyle Pitts, but that's it. They did draft Drake London with their 8th overall pick, which I thought that was a very wise pick, and I do like Drake London in college. Calvin Ridley suspended for gambling on his own team. Hopefully that actually changes and maybe he gets the suspension appealed. So he definitely would help the team out a lot. I'm going to say this is going to be a blowout for the Falcons and stuff. I feel like this is going to be a win. My prediction for this one will be Steelers 36, the Falcons 7. All right, so Week 14, the Baltimore Ravens at Hines. Where do we see this is going? I am definitely going to say this is going to be a win for us. It will definitely be interesting. Baltimore really does not have any receivers, especially when they traded away Marquise Brown. The only person that they have in that roster is Rashad Bateman, who has not lived up to expectation, although they have said that he could live up to expectation this year and be the leading wide receiver. Although they have Mark Andrews in there, their running backs was a disaster. Every single running back in their roster was injured. So, and also their defense, quarterback-wise, injured. So, I say this is going to be a win for us. I think it's going to go into overtime, and I feel like we're going to score a late touchdown on this one. The Steelers 26, the Ravens 20. All right, we're going to head down to Carolina, where we face Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. So, where do I see this going? I say this is going to be a win for us, because I just feel like it'll be a very interesting game as well, especially with Baker Mayfield under center with the Panthers. I feel like he will be the starting quarterback for the Panthers this year. Although Christian McCaffrey, if he's healthy, Christian McCaffrey is healthy and he explodes, we're in trouble. So, but I feel like we're going to win this game in the get-go. So, Steelers 24, the Panthers 20. All right, moving on. The Christmas Eve game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Where do I see this game going? And honest to God, I feel like we're going to lose this game. The Raiders have really been kind of a problem for us for the past couple of seasons, and they have beaten us several times, and I feel like they're going to do better, especially now that they have a wide receiver in Devontae Adams, who is the most dangerous wide receiver in the league. When he's healthy, though, it's not going to be the same with Aaron Rodgers. Although now they have Hunter Renfrow in there as a slot receiver. He's a very dangerous guy to be throwing it to. So I am definitely going to say the Raiders win this game. Steelers 27. The Las Vegas Raiders 38. All right, so back at it again. New Year's Day 2023. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So where do I see this going? I feel like this is going to be a loss for us. So we're going to be 1-1 against the Baltimore Ravens on this one. I'm not going to say anymore. I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I feel like Baltimore is going to have the home field advantage. So I'm going to say the Steelers 20 against the Baltimore Ravens 24. All right, so the final game of the 2022 season, closing it down, the Cleveland Browns at Heinz. Where do I see this is going? It'll be very interesting because I believe Deshaun Watson will be back in that game, of course. So I see us getting a win in there, although I think it's going to be close depending on where we're at and where they are at when it comes to injuries and stuff. So I feel like we're going to get Cleveland's number on this one, and hopefully we punch our ticket into the postseason. So I am definitely going to predict this game 27 Steelers to 21 Browns. And as you can see here, my prediction for this season will be 10-7. It is going to be a low-end record. I feel like we could possibly squeeze into the postseason as a 6th or 7th seed. So we don't know that. We could do better. We could do worse. But this is overall a prediction right now. Hopefully a little excited about what's going to happen this season. A little bit nervous about what's going to happen this season, but overall, I'm very excited about what's going to happen this season. So, there you go, guys. That is going to be my video for today, and I hope you like this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, don't forget to subscribe and like this channel, and I will see you next time on the channel. Peace out, y'all.